Hi, my name is Joe, and I am hearing impaired. So, what is it like to be hearing impaired? It stinks. It really stinks. I'm 52, and I hesitated before I said that. I'm 52, and just in the last few years have I really gotten a grip on the fact that I'm hearing impaired. So what is it like to be hearing impaired? Well, first let me explain what my hearing impairment is. As far as I know, I've had it my whole life, or most of my life. I remember in second, third, fourth, fifth grade, early elementary school. My parents were concerned why I was doing poorly in school, different things, and so they had me do all of these tests, see all of these professionals that tried to diagnose what was wrong. And one of the things that they discovered, because of course their job is to find out what's wrong, so they're going to find something, no matter how small it might be. Like if you go to a doctor and say like, oh, hey, my shoulder hurts. They're going to go, okay, great, we'll do some x-rays. We don't see anything obvious. Let's do some MRIs and some ultrasounds and da-da-da. And they're going to do all of these things to try to find why you have the pain. So if you dig deep enough, you'll find something. You'll find like, well, it looks like this bone is slightly misaligned and that could be the cause of your pain. It could not be, but it could be. So anyway, one of the big things that they found was that I was a visual learner. Okay, and what that means is I didn't listen and understand things well. I remember the hearing test that we used to get back in the early 70s. It was kind of like the doctor would go, "Can you hear me?" And you'd go, "Yes." And they'd go, "Hey, his hearing's fine." So my hearing loss is very frequency specific. So all sound is made up of frequencies, sound waves. And there are certain frequencies that I can't hear or can't hear well. So it's just these like little random kind of dips where I'm missing hearing information because I can't hear the information in these little spots. So for somebody that's not hearing impaired, it's like you're reading a book, okay? And since my hearing loss is in the frequency range that is mostly human speech, so it's kind of important. Let's say you're reading a book and we're going to take out 5 letters, okay? And they're going to be important letters. So let's say we take out like A, E, I, S, and T. I don't know. Okay. So now you have to read the book, okay? And people are talking. So I'm listening to them. People are talking, and I can't go, hold on, rewind, and keep going and going. So you have to read the book, but you can't go back to try to figure something out, okay? You're not going to enjoy the book very much, are you? It's going to be very difficult to understand. So then, well, I could get hearing aids, right? Sure. I've tried 3 different types of hearing aids. And the problem is, I don't believe the technology, or at least there was no technology shown to me that could fix my issue, because back to the reading, you have the 5 letters, okay? Now let's say, to get those 5 letters back in, we need to increase the letters on either side, okay? So let's say the letter A is in the middle of a word. Now the letters on either side of A, okay, are now going to be in the book typed 3 times. So if it's an M, there's going to be 3 M's, then the A, that now you can finally see, I can finally hear, and then the letter after the A typed 3 times. Then the letter on either side of those 3 are going to be typed twice. Okay, so to make that missing letter available for you to read, the stuff around it is now doubled and tripled. So that's what my hearing is. So the hearing aids haven't really worked. It increases some sounds that I'm missing, but then also increases some of the sounds on either side that I can hear fine. So they're so loud that they drown out the one I'm missing, the frequency I'm missing. So hearing aids just haven't really worked for me. What does it mean for me in life now that I'm in my 50s and, like I said, I'm finally understanding this hearing loss? The fact that early in life I could not understand teachers talking. Teachers would say to me, like, you know, hey, Mr. Hart, please pay attention. And I'm like, I can't understand what you're saying like half the time. So it's really hard for me to pay attention when I don't understand what you're saying. But as a little kid, I didn't know that. And I didn't know to speak up and say that. I didn't know I couldn't hear certain things. So what your brain starts to do is, and now that I'm older and understand this, it kind of makes sense looking back. The brain starts to, well, first I got very adept at reading lips, and now with the pandemic and masks, it's terrible. But I got really good at reading lips, so I could hear people talking, and I could fill in the missing bits by watching their lips, and I could understand again. I just learned that through years of needing to do it, not knowing any other way. You figure it out just to get by. But the missing bits, my brain is trying to process all of those missing pieces. So if you were reading the book and you were allowed to go back, you could look at a word and go, okay, like say BNK, and go, okay, it could be bank, bonk, bunk. You know, there's like different vowels that could go in there. You could be missing an R, so an R, an E, and an A, and it could be break. Well, no, that's missing, that doesn't have the end, but you get the idea. So you can go back and kind of, oh, okay, because of the words around it, it must be this word. So you fill in those blanks that you're missing. My brain can't do it as fast as people talk. So all my life, I've gotten the sort of, like, you're not listening to me. You don't understand what I'm saying. You must be daydreaming. You must be just thinking of something else and not paying attention to me. My wife still does it. And it's not her fault. It's just so ingrained in people. Like, if she's talking to me and I don't understand what she's saying, it's embarrassing for me. So I've learned long ago to look at facial expressions and to know when to smile, to know when to nod, to know when to like go, Because of their facial, I'm just sort of mirroring their facial expressions without really understanding what they're saying. So, my wife if she's angry at me and she's talking, and I'm like, and I don't quite understand what she's saying. She's like, you'd understand if you were paying attention to me. And it's just, that's what people do. So I learned long ago to just kind of keep to myself. Definitely don't go to parties. With all that noise, I can't hear anything anybody says. Even if they're right in front of me and I'm staring at their lips moving, with all the other noise, it just cuts out way too much. So now you're reading a book, you're missing 5 letters, but now you're missing an additional 10. So now the book is useless. It's just a jumble of random letters. So definitely keep to myself. Don't go to parties. Don't engage with people. Try to avoid talking to people. A lot of people have always thought I was like a jerk. Thought I was just didn't care about people, that I was really self-centered, that I was really arrogant. I've gotten that a lot. And I wonder how much of all of that growing up that has shaped me as I am today was due to the fact that I just can't hear as well as everyone else can. And it's a disability that, one, people don't understand. Hopefully you learned a little bit about missing letters reading a book. That's what it's like for me. It's really weird because I'll hear a bunch of words and then I'll miss a little bit of one word, and then my brain's trying to figure out what that word was because of the context, and I've now missed the next few words. So the next word that I don't understand, I don't have the context leading up to it. It's just a word that I didn't understand out of nowhere because I was trying to figure out 4 words back. So it's I guess one of those like hidden disabilities that nobody can see. I have a lot of frequencies that are perfectly fine. Some people's voices are a certain way that I can totally understand them, like no problems. And then some people's voices are in such a way that they just seem to keep hitting those spots that I'm missing. And like right in my face, and I can barely understand what they're saying. It's very difficult, and it's very embarrassing. I have just into my 50s. I keep saying that. I don't like it. I'm getting old. I'm just starting to get comfortable telling people that I have a hearing issue, because it was just something embarrassing. It was really only diagnosed as a hearing issue 10 or so years ago. So, I mean, I went like decades just thinking this is just how everything is. I knew nothing otherwise. So, like I said, it's embarrassing. It's I don't really like to say it. So it's easier just to avoid talking to people, to keep to myself, to just keep quiet. When people do talk to me, especially like I said, if there's noise around, in the best circumstances, I have no idea what they're saying. And it's just so much easier to kind of smile and nod and not say anything back because I'm not entirely sure what they said to me. And then people just stop talking to me because, like, you know, all he does is just smile and nod. He doesn't care at all what I say. And so it's just easier to avoid all of that. But anyway, that's what it's like with my hearing issue. And I guess it is what it is. at my age, I mean, what am I going to do? My hearing, everybody's hearing goes downhill as they age anyway. So as my hearing goes downhill enough, I'll get hearing aids just to bring me back to where I am now, unless technology gets better. So that's really it. It's a weird thing because, like, I remember my dad would always comment that I could hear grass grow, because if, like, a squeaky door, very quiet, very high-pitched squeaky door, is a frequency that I can hear really well, I can hear it, and I can hear it really well. And then somebody talking to me, I can't hear half what they say. Like a low frequency, because again, it's the mids that are speech that are a lot of what I'm missing. A low frequency, I can hear. I can hear a door close, boom. Even if it's far away and if it's quiet, I can hear a car door slam. Like 3 rooms over, out in the driveway, with doors closed and windows closed in the house, I can hear a car door close. Things like that. So it's kind of like, what do you mean you can't hear well? You can hear great. Like, no, only certain things I can hear great. So it's weird. But there we are. Hope you learned something. Again, unless I tell you, you would have no idea that I have this disability, I guess. Might as well call it what it is. I was talking to a friend of mine a couple years ago, and I said, hey, I have like a hearing issue. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, haven't you noticed a lot of times I go, like, I'm sorry, what? Or I ask you to repeat something, and he goes, yeah, you do. Like, he never even noticed it, never even thought of it. So people you're talking to might have this, and you don't even know it. Don't even notice it, don't see it, don't know anything about it. And if they don't tell you, you could just think that they're jerks, or they're arrogant, or not paying attention to you, or don't care, or whatever. So, hope you learned something, and hope you enjoyed.